do one thing. Go ahead.
Hi everyone. Today I am presenting on the concept one nation, one election. Recently, the Brazilian government has formed a committee headed by former President Ramnath Kovind to check whether it is feasible to conduct, to go with the concept of one nation, one election. So next slide. I will talk in the next slide about the basic concept, what it entails when we say one nation, one election. So, the central idea of this concept is conducting simultaneous election in the case of Lok Sabha, state assemblies and panchayat and municipalities. All the election at the one time. So, before going the pros and cons of this concept, I just want to know whether you guys are familiar with the concept of election and the process of election, how it goes, like how the constituencies are formed, how election takes place. Do I give you a basic idea about the election?
Yeah, we need it.
So give me the marker.
Sure.
You can use the marker. You can use the duster also. So the whiteboard. Yes.
Okay. Just understand the process. Just bear with my writing. Then I will give you the basic idea how the election of the Lok Sabha takes place. Okay. Firstly, we have currently we have this total seats of 445 in the Lok Sabha. Okay. And these seats are divided in each states, and the seats are fixed for the each states. For example, in the case of UP, it has the highest number of seats, that is 80. How this number we get, I will tell you the process. Okay. Just assume the fact that this is the state of UP. Okay. We have heard, I think you guys have heard about the constituencies in each states. So basically what happens in with every census that takes place, the government forms a commission called Census Delimitation Commission. The Delimitation Commission, what this commission do, it divides every state into number of constituencies. Okay. And the division happens like this, that each constituency, the population of each constituencies and the number of representatives should be same. For example, just for the presumption, imagine Lucknow is a constituency, one constituency, and Balia is one constituency. The division, the line will be such that the population within this line and this line should be same for each constituency. I hope you are getting the ideas. Okay. So this is the basic idea how the constituencies are formed, and each.
As per your this concept, the whole UP
Yes.
is divided into 80
Constituencies. In the case of Lok Sabha, yes.
80 their fiscal area, 80 same fiscal area. They
Not
have.
about the physical area in the sense, not there
That-
is a line, not there is not in the terms of border,
Yes.
but on the paper, yes, the UP is divided into 80 constituencies.
Okay.
I hope you are getting the facts.
Yes, yes, sure.
Not like India and Pakistan, there is a
Yes,
border,
sure,
not
sure.
like that.
Sure.
But like this one, that we have the separate
But-
demarcation line for the each constituency.
But how distant from a adjacent? How you decide the limit of any constituency?
That is what I said. After each census, government forms a commission called Delimitation Commission.
Okay.
Delimitation Commission. This commission has extreme power. Like if they decide any boundary and everything, its decision will not be challenged by any government, not even in court also.
Okay.
So this commission has extreme power given in the constitution only. So nobody can challenge its decision also.
Okay.
So once this commission decides any constituency, it will be fixed on their directions only.
And what are the factors the Delimitation Commission takes into consideration before deciding about a particular constituency?
It's just the only criteria is the population.
Okay, the population.
Yes, and that each MP
Okay.
should represent the equal number of population.
Okay.
Like an MP of Lucknow
Okay.
should represent the same number of population
Hmm.
as an MP of Balia represents.
Okay.
Yes.
Got
Alright.
your point?
Right.
Like maybe Balia as a district may have less population, so it may include the population of other district as well.
Right.
So a district is not equal to a constituency.
Yes.
I hope
Okay.
you are getting your
Yes.
point.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Uh,
Great.
So I think in this criteria also while talking about this, I will clear one more controversy or debate always goes on. Like you must have heard about the fact that South and North always debate about the fact that if we make the criteria only about population, then they will be always on the lower side.
Lower side.
Even now, if we say that UP represents about 30 MPs, Tamil Nadu represents only about 39. And they argue the fact that we have done better in the terms of family planning, we have done better in the controlling our population, and just because we have done better, why we will suffer in the terms of MP representation. And I think we should give importance to the fact that if you have more number of MP from one state, it do get favor in the case of policies. We know that whoever in power in center always favors UP compared to Tamil Nadu.
Yes.
So
I think the same factor, delimitation factor, is also considering in the women's reservation.
Yes, that's why I'm coming to ma'am to explain that part. That government has said that we will implement this bill only after conducting one census, which is due from 2021. It was thought that the census will be conducted in 2021, but due to the COVID, I think
It got delayed. Okay.
And it is still not implemented.
Okay.
And government also decided that after census, they will form a delimitation commission, and they will redistribute the constituencies, and then they will implement the women reservation bill.
Okay.
So I hope you will get these.
Sure.
Yeah. Very nice. Go ahead. Sure.
No, I talked
Okay.
about this
Yes.
before.
Pros of one
So,
nation. Okay.
pros of one nation, one election. Okay, just you guys, anyone will tell, but just fair idea like what will be the benefit of one nation, one election if you think any of.
I think.
Don't look at the slide.
I think first of major benefit is saving money.
Okay, one good point. Anyone else?
Distribute like
And saving time also.
I think that the major factor for one nation, one election for considering this is the economy. Because it affects the budget of the union government.
Okay.
Election affects the budget of the union government. That's why government is thinking about the one nation, one election. I think, as per my opinion.
Anyone else? Okay, I hope I will change your mind after this slide, after this presentation. Okay, the first pros of this concept that one nation, one election is focused governance. Why I'm saying this? Because we have been seeing, I think, at least last 10 years, after this government especially, that we have been in the festival of election after every 2 or 3 months. And this what happens with this government at least, they started giving as much importance to the Lok Sabha as much as to the Panchayat as well. So I think because of that attention to the election, they get disturbed with their governance part. So I think with one election, they will do campaign for one election, and they will be settled for the 5 years, and they can focus on the other governance part. And second is continuity in policy decisions. We have been heard about the model code of conduct, that is Achar Sanhita in Hindi, I think. Because of that, there is a time within which government cannot announce any new policy. So I think because of that, there is a delay in the policy decisions. So I think it will be reduced with this concept also. Reduced cost of election, as you all guys said that, yeah, it will reduce the cost of election because even if go by the last 2014 election budget, I think almost 600 crore was spent in those elections, not by the government, by the political parties. So it will surely reduce the cost of elections in the terms of political parties. Okay. Then less burden of security forces and police officials, as you have seen that if there is election, there will be security forces. So I think they will after this concept they will be deployed for one time, and then after that election they will focus on their own work. And the last second is end of horse trading. You guys have heard about the term horse trading? Okay.
Please elaborate.
Huh?
Please elaborate.
Okay. The concept is we have seen, I think, recent cases of Maharashtra,
Yes.
Rajasthan. That is the one. That is the example of horse trading. What happens in those cases? That after election, the government, the opposition party tries to bring down the government by trading the MPs of other parties, whatever means. Okay. So how this will end by this one nation, one election? What happens now is if a person gets elected as an MP and he is in a primary party, not in a position in a government party. So what happens is he just changes the party, and but because constitution says that if you changes the party after election, you lose your seat. Okay. But because they think that okay, I will lose the seat, but I have a chance that after there will be election that is called by election for 2 or 3 seats. There will be conducted, and I will get again I will won election. So what happens is, but if we implement one nation, one election, there will be a one election for 5 years. If you loses your seat by going to the party, you will not get the chance at least for the 5 years. Are you getting my point?
Ma'am, I think this point is mentioned in the one nation, one election, that by-poll will not be because by-poll is election is different, but by-poll is totally different from the main election. Is it mentioned in the?
Yeah, they are talking. Well, yeah, by-poll. Yeah, now is also government is giving focus on by-polls also. So they are talking like they are done. They want to done with the whole concept of frequent elections in whole terms, and the chances of higher turnout. Okay, this is one of the. I think all of you are above 18.
Yes.
So how many of you have given? Are you guys all from state of UP?
Yes.
Have you given your votes for last election?
No.
Why? Any particular
I don't
reason?
have my voter at that.
Okay, why? Anyone else?
Because I want to give a nota, but the amount that is not considerable. That is no. So
Yes.
I don't want to waste my money to go to my hometown just for nota.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I think
Major
most
issue.
like we are busy some things. We are living from our hometown,
Very
and
nice.
we can't able to go the particular election.
Yes. So for your problem and for problem like yours, this will be the great idea because it will like if you know that there is only one election in 5 years, there is a probability that you might go to your hometown and cast your vote for that election. So I think for that regard, this will be a good idea that conducting one election at a time. So next slide. No, sir. You
First
are-
slide, sir. I jumped.
Okay. We have talked about the advantages of one nation, one election. Now comes the disadvantages. Disadvantages of one nation, one election. First one is regional issues could get ignored. We do know for the fact that state assemblies elections and Lok Sabha elections are conducted or done on different issues. State assemblies issue is people from an expectation from my chief minister will be different from my expectation from the prime minister. So I think if you know that a party who is in center will have more power in the terms of economy, in terms of security, in every terms, they will be larger than the regional parties. So indirectly, directly, they will dominate or influence the elections of state assemblies. and the regional parties will be at the lower position or in the side effects, will suffer the side effects. So I think the first issue is this. Second is it requires more voting machine. As we all know that elections are done on the EVM machines, and conducting simultaneous elections will require more voting machines. And in this regard, we will lead to the more expenditure in those terms. So I think first one is lowering. The advantage was the reduction of the expenses, but here we are seeing that there will be increase in the expenditure. Third, need to educate voters. A person from cities may will understand that yeah, this machine is for the Lok Sabha, this machine is for the state assembly, and this for the local bodies. But educating a illiterate person from a village, it will be a tough task, and we cannot assume that yeah, he will get himself used to without educating him by the government. So I think it will take time. So this one is another backdrop. Third is confusion over hung assemblies and ousted governments. The fourth, and this is a major problem with this concept, is what will happen if a government which is formed in central in the union in the center will get dissolved before 5 years. So there will be election in each state plus center if a government in the center falls, or what happens if a central government falls before its due time. So will the president rule will be implemented there? If that happens, then it will be a killer for the democracy. So I think this is the major problem with this concept. And second most is may not be so cost effective. But recently, NIDHI comes with the report which says that the election commission invest ₹10 for each vote. Like it has a cost of ₹10 for each voter. So and if election commission conducts one election for every state assembly and Lok Sabha, the price will be reduced by ₹5. Okay. Look at the bigger picture. Are we suggesting the fact that for just ₹5 we should kill our basic principles like democracy? We should kill a concept like federalism just for the ₹5 per voters. So I think that not be so cost effective as the propagators of this concept are calling. And the last one, election expenses aren't always bad. Why this point is because we know that when a political party or a government do expenditure, it creates ripple effect in the economy, that the government invests money and it creates jobs for the economy. So I think it is not a bad idea to invest that much money in the election at least. So I think these are some cons of this concept. So next slide. Okay. So in way forward, I would say that firstly, the government needs to build consensus, like it built it in the case of GST. It has to take the consensus of all the states. It cannot just surpass the states' views, state government views, and just implement by passing the bill in the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha because they have the majority. They need to build that consensus. Secondly, they need to invest in the infrastructure. They need to, if they are planning to implement this concept, they have to build the EVM. They have to educate the people. So I think they need to invest in infrastructure and establishing a new legal framework to deal with the situation like hung assemblies. If center government falls before 5 years, what will happen? It should be properly regulated and properly framed before implementing these motions.
Very nice. Any questions? Excellent. Very nice. Any questions from the audience?
I think that the election will be fair if we can see that there is a major ruckus during the elections. it is possible to conduct a fair election at a time for the state, for a country, for a panchayat.
He meant major ruckus, confusion. RUCKUS. A state of confusion that happens during elections. That what? Okay, fine. Yes, your answer.
So what?
Can you rephrase it? Can you speak your answer again? Sorry, can you mention your
It's
question?
possible
And, is it possible that government will conduct a fair election for the country, for the state, and for the panchayat at a time?
At the same time.
At the same time.
With fair.
Because we are not a 100 or 200 or 1,000 or 1 lakh 1 crore population.
The population is a
we are
challenge.
dealing with a 140 crores of population.
Okay.
At the same time, it is feasible to manage all the population, all the so much infrastructure we have currently.
So he is basically questioning the logistical effectivity.
Yes.
I have a point.
Let her respond first. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, that is one of the concerns of
Okay.
this concept, that whether we have that much of infrastructure for conducting election on that large extent. So I think we need to first bring those infrastructure, and then we can think about the concept.
Sure.
Right now we do not have that infrastructure, and obviously first we need to plan, then we can go on the step of.
Why government point this term, one nation, one election, for the sake of advantage in the coming election, or just for the sake of the betterment of the country?
No, no doubt this concept has its advantages. As we have seen that it will, what do you say, the concept that it hampers the governance part of the government. They want to reduce that hindrance, and that for that matter they are coming with this concept, and for the expenditure as well. So in that notion, yeah, it is a good concept that the government, because they have the primary role to govern their people, not to go in an election after every 3 months. So I think in that regard, they want to focus on their primary work. So in that sense, this is a good idea. But yeah, it is currently it is on the policy level. It is not implemented. It is not framed as a legal framework. So I think we have to wait and just see whether government is going with what.
Yes, Ashish, you were saying something better.
Sir, I think most of in India and most of the villages, when people are going for vote,
Okay.
they don't have any idea who is the candidate of particular state or
Okay.
Lok Sabha Panchayat.
Okay.
They are giving vote only on the basis of symbol, like SP, BJP, Tamil,
Okay.
and SP
Alright.
cycle and like that. So I think when we conduct one nation, one election, then it should be maybe it is a one way of situation. Like I am a BJP supporter, suppose that,
Okay.
and I have 3 options like panchayat and state government and central government. So I press the button of only BJP and Tamil.
Okay.
So I think it's a one-way election.
You mean to say it's advantageous or disadvantageous?
Maybe it's a disadvantage. I think.
Okay.
Well,
It is
that is
disadvantageous.
it is helping the concept of democracy.
Okay.
Because the influence of a government can lead in the state government and in the panchayat also. Because the person who is going to give the vote, cast the vote, don't know about the candidate.
Okay.
But just seeing the sign of the party
Correct.
and giving the for the all.
First, we'll have to educate the voters, put the logistics in place, upgrade the infrastructure, and many more things, and obviously build a census. Right. Very nice, Nidhi. Very good.